Hello, everybody. So, okay, technically, I have Nathan Stratford down in Invercargill chatting with me tonight, but it actually looks like I have Stratty's bear that he has in his window in Invercargill. So, hi, Stratty.
Hi guys, how are you? How you going, guys?
So, for those of you who don't necessarily follow shearing, this is Nathan Stratford, who works down in Invercargill shearing, and Stratty, you came second at the Golden Shears this year, and we're in the team world champs, winners the team world championships in 2017. Is that right?
Yeah,
and came third in the individuals.
yeah.
So
Third.
Third. Still good. Still good.
Still third.
So your bubble is down in Invercargill, isn't it?
Yeah, Bubbles at home here at Kennington with wife and 2 kids.
Yep.
So that's in our little 10 acres that we got. But yeah, that's us. Down for 7 days now.
Keeping yourself entertained with, I believe, hopscotch and what's the other game?
Jackpot.
I keep forgetting.
Jackpot and hopscotch. It's a good old games. And 4 square. And you are currently looking at the 4 square and Jackpot King. Right. It's not third, but first.
This sounds like I'm going to ask Mr. Google tomorrow how to play these 2 games.
Yeah, no, you'll find it. It's real easy. Stones and chalk. That's all you need.
Okay, done deal.
Done deal.
So, how are you guys keeping yourself kind of busy and entertained whilst you're in lockdown?
Oh, basically, we're just getting up in the mornings, doing the usual stuff with the kids, breakfast, general chat as if we're going to do, and then we're off usually for a walk. It's about 25, 30 minutes for a walk with the kids down the road up, and then just back home, just doing the jobs around the house. Basically, normal stuff that would go on if you had a wet day, like doing a bit of work around the yard, or we're quite thankful because we've got good weather. Yeah, and generally just doing that, keeping yourself sane. Like everyone in the country and the world is probably in the same position as we are. We're nothing special.
No,
but just keeping it real, like having a bit of fun, making the kids laugh, and outside, out and about, really.
And how are you finding it not working for your sort of physical 8 hours a day? Are you finding that it's quite hard to adapt in terms of, like, your body probably wants to eat at those every 2 hours and that type of thing, like you do when you're working, does it?
Basically, yeah, no, like when a work day for me particularly probably is like everyone. I'm up at 4:30. Breakfast is between 4 and 5:15. On the road, meet at the yard, in the van, shearing by 7. So at 9, you're eating at 9. You're eating again at 11:30. Basically, every 2 hours, you're starting to eat, and you have to find and have to start thinking, okay, what do I need to eat? And when you do eat, you got to eat properly. Like either grab an apple or grab something, and then you sort of sometimes got to cut your routine back a bit. That your body clock says 11:30 is lunch, but the kids mightn't have lunch until 12 or 12:30 or something like that. So you actually have to self-train yourself back to your eating habits and trying to keep it as good and as healthy as natural.
Yeah, because your body will be in that routine, hey, of wanting to eat every 2 hours, because that's just like it's a natural ingrained pattern in your body. But you were saying earlier, it's actually quite a nice opportunity for people to get that healthy eating into their routine, because there aren't Subways, there aren't so much sort of takeaway food. Now's the time to really focus on nutrition and improving that.
Yeah, well, we're quite lucky. We can still go to supermarkets and stuff like that. If you are in lockdown, and understandable that one person's going away to do groceries and stuff like that, the options there now, you've still got you can still buy all your healthy options, healthy foods. So if you haven't got a routine now's an ideal time to actually start one, with a bit of breakfast cereal, and then maybe bananas on toast, and then lunch. It could be a healthy lunch, you see. So it is a really good opportunity. The positive is actually trying to eat a bit healthier and stay away from the fizzies and a bit more water, and actually trying to train your body to actually start eating healthy. It is.
So how are you managing to keep fit whilst you're in lockdown? Because, I mean, obviously a lot of people will think, oh, yeah, and it's good to have a couple of days off because you guys work so physically hard. But on the flip side of that, you are going to have to go straight back into full-on shearing if you're not dipping in and out of it at the moment, depending on what gang you're in. But it will be really important for you to keep fit so that you're not potentially at injury risk when you jump straight back in if you took, say, a month off. How are you working on keeping that fitness?
Basically, what I'm doing is I'm not training every day or every second day like I was when we were shearing. So basically, I might do, say, 30 minutes cardio. That sounds a lot. Like if you've got access to a cross trainer or a rowing machine, 30 minutes is on that. Basically, just getting online and having a look at stuff online for cardio and for, like, there's oodles and stuff. Like today, we're scanning away there. There's oodles of stuff for abdominal work, back work, and get all your flatmates and all your mates into it. You don't have to be super fit to do this stuff. If you start to do it and learn to do it and teach yourself and stretch and carry on, you find yourself it's a lot easier. Like, even if you get bored and think, oh, what's 40 minutes? But 40 minutes is 40 minutes on the floor or doing some exercises, which is really good.
Yeah, and that'll really pay off.
Go for a walk.
Yeah, get out, get some fresh air, and just maintain that.
We're still allowed to play within the rules, like around your block if you're in town. Go for a walk, not once, twice, maybe even 3 times, and then the next 2 or 3 days go 4 times, and the next 2 or 3 days make it 5 times. Just keep going round and round, and you'll soon get, oh, this is not too bad. Yeah, no, it's good.
So we chatted very briefly yesterday, and you were mentioning that it actually could be a really good time for a lot of guys to work on their gear and their knowledge of that type of thing as well.
Basically, yeah, no, like now's probably a good time to brush up on your grinding skills. If you've been to a grinding night, obviously everyone probably has. Go through there and start practicing your grinding, setting the papers, go through your handpieces. Do a bit of handpiece maintenance. Make sure it's all right. Clean it out. Have a look, see if there's any worn parts, because when you go back to work, you know there's going to be a worn part that you might need to think. You go through all your combs and think, well, those combs are getting a bit thin, and I might need to get winter combs or something like that. Not going necessarily go and buy them, but have a look. And then if you've got a spinner or sandpaper, just play with some, like roll some over, spin them out and find them out. And sometimes online stuff is, you can, now we've got video chats and everything, people can see and show and watch how things can be done and do that. Like, just sort of play with a lot of stuff, like gear and that sort of stuff. Look at your cutters, look at your handpiece box, clean it all out, get it ready. Like, instead of sitting in a bucket, sitting there, whipping it off after, say, 5 or 6 weeks if we're in lockdown or how long we're on, and then your handpiece is seized up or your combs are all rusty, or better off just doing it. Even if you don't have to do it all in one day, do your handpiece one day, combs another day, cutters another day, and generally get ready to come back to work, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's quite easy to love taking the time off, but we can also find that balance between using it for nutrition, using it for fitness, and using it to, you know, catch up on that stuff that maybe when you're working full time, you don't have always the opportunity to get to do so much. So, spending
time with family too. Like, even if your loved ones can't Skype or can't use, like my mother, she's 83. We ring her every day.
Yeah.
And even if you've got a friend out there that just talk to, like, and you find things get on a lot easier than like sitting at home thinking, oh, the world sucks, which it does at the moment. But you've got to take a positive out of it. Everything happens for a reason, I was told by a wise man one day.
So talking about the positive, I was just about to ask you, so I've been doing a Lucky in Lockdown book, which is my things that I'm super grateful for whilst I am stuck in lockdown. But obviously your awesome family. What are you really noticing now you're in lockdown that you're aware of, you're quite grateful for now?
Oh, being able to survive this, thinking ahead, like planning, like our groceries on a Sunday was our grocery day. We just go and do it. Now it's planning when we're going to do it. What do we got to do? Like, what do we need? What don't we need? and that's thing. And family is another one. That would be the second one. And having good health is probably the third one. Being healthy, not having the worry of, oh, maybe I've got asthma, or this disease could affect me if I go shopping, or I've had emphysema, or I've had pneumonia. But being generally healthy, knowing that it probably will affect me, but not as bad as someone who's not quite as healthy as they should be.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the plan before we sign off? What's the plan with your kids tomorrow for the game? Who's gonna beat you?
Well, tomorrow, I think it's badminton. We've got a badminton net set up. We're going to do a wee bit of fencing around here, which we're quite lucky to go properly, but probably be hopscotch, bit of badminton, might be a bit of volleyball, and just getting out and having a bit of fun. If we win or lose. And usually the loser cooks tea, so Lisa's quite often cooking tea.
How do I feel you're getting in trouble?
Me and Teddy generally win. That's it. And all another advice I've got to say right there, even if you're feeling down for a day, pick up the phone, just go for a walk. Yeah, it is a bad time, the situation we're in, but it could be worse. It could be a lot worse than what we've got. So, and if everyone plays by the rules, we'll be out of this a lot sooner than we think we are. So once it's out and about, and that's all good.
I certainly think as well, like the shearing industry is such a close-knit community, and you know that you've got such an opportunity to keep connected through social media and through messaging and everything like that. Now, you know, it's quite an extended family, isn't it? Your shearing industry.
Well, it is. It's a cool family. A lot of guys mightn't be close with each other, but we generally watch what everyone else is doing. Like, I'm not on Facebook, everyone knows that, but it's nothing hard to pick up the phone. And the other interesting thing is what's happening here is a lot of the UK boys won't be going to the United Kingdom this year to shear, so we might have abundance shearers staying home for their first time that they've never done a winter shearing or never done a pre-lab to experience it. It'll be interesting for them, and it's probably a new saga for them, really.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We're going to have an abundance of shearers here once we come out of lockdown compared to normal, hey?
Yeah, but if the same thing goes in main shear, we won't be able to have probably the overseas boys come to help us, which we need. Yeah. And it could put stress later on in, like, summertime. Yeah. Contractors up north, down south, they'll feel the pinch because they mightn't be able to have those workers here.
Yeah. So it's going to go both ways, isn't it?
Both ways, really. You know, it's going to be interesting. Like, for travel in the next 2 or 3 years, in my opinion, travel is going to be very interesting throughout the world. Even in New Zealand, like, we may have to have border controls within the island just to stop it. We may have to have, you know, definitely border controls coming from overseas, but that's what the professionals have decided. Us sportsmen and larrikins just to get on with the world, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, I am going to sign us off and say thank you very much for chatting us tonight, Stratty. I won't say to anybody they can find you on Facebook if they want to ask you any questions, because they can't.
Like, even if there's enough ask, and if one night, if you can get it set up, I'm more than willing to show guys how to spin a comb out, if they're willing to. Awesome. If it's nothing too dramatic, but it'd be just general, would be ABC, it won't be anything technical. So they can actually go and play with stuff. So
that sounds great. So if any of you have just listened to that offer of Stratty's and you would like him to do that, just flick me a message or comment on this live post, and then I can certainly get the technology hooked up again for him so that we can be able to do that if anybody's interested.
I'll bring it into the kitchen. It won't be a problem, eh, Les? It won't be a problem. See, perfect. See? Into the kitchen.
Okay, so I think I'm going to leave you to get in trouble with your wife for the night. Cuddle your teddy.
We're dunking malt biscuits and having fun tonight. I tell you, malt biscuits, dunkers. That'll be having fun.
Thank you very much, Stratty.
See you, mate.
Okay, bye.